research shows the perceptions of women's tattoos and all that stuff. So we're showing this, guys, because we want y'all to know that this is going to be more so stats based. We're going to try to bring, stats and facts for y'all. So we're going to show you videos of, what people are thinking, what people are saying about, things like this. But stats are very important. You can read this. It says research on men's perceptions of women with tattoos is mixed rather than definitively negative. So what they're saying is it's not necessarily that men don't like women that have tats, or they find it to be negative. It's rather mixed is what they're saying. But we're going to see why this was not all the way honest, right? Because it says while some studies and public polling indicate that certain men prefer women without body art, other experimental field research reveals that tattooed women are often approached more, should say just more approachable, a lot easier, frequently in social settings. All right. So, but although they're saying that, although they're making that statement, let's actually see what people are saying, right? Because stats is one thing, right? Let's see what people are actually saying out there, right? So we're going to bring up this video. Give us just a quick second for us to set this up for y'all. So there's a video right here. This video is, if y'all want to check it out, this video is titled, give us a sec, it's titled, Tattoos Are Making Women What? What does that say? Tattoos are making women look dirty, apparently. All right, that's the title of that video. So we're going to play this right now for y'all so y'all can get, hold on, we need it, yeah. All right, let's go.
If you get tattoos, you will never look classy again in your life.
Y'all that go get these big tattoo pieces on your bodies, that looks trashy.
Dirty. It's no in between.
If you don't have no tattoos, don't get any tattoos. Bare skin is so feminine and classy.
Please stop getting tattoos, okay? You are not going to end up with a life that you want with some giant tiger crawling down your leg.
If you've ever felt like your look needed a little bit more pizzazz, a tattoo or piercing was probably your first thought to appear more expressive, confident, and a little bit more alive. Well, lately, I've been seeing a lot of women.
All right, guys, the connection is just bugging. Give it a sec, bro. It's gonna get smooth soon. Just
say that those same body modifications that make them feel expressive are now making them feel
come on, bro.
You guys do know that if you get tattoos, you will never look classy again in your life.
Y'all that go get these big tattoo pieces on your bodies.
You guys do know that if you get tattoos, you will never look classy again in your life.
Y'all that go get these big tattoo pieces on your bodies, that looks trashy.
Piercings can make a person look really cute or really dirty. It's no in between.
You see, so she's talking about piercings, which is tattoos and piercings are tied together, but we're gonna focus on tattoos right now. But what she says is quite insightful, because she just says piercings can make, let's just change that to tattoos, for example, right? Tattoos can make you look cute or make you look dirty. That's a very insightful take, because we're gonna bring that up, that whole cute and or dirty or other words, other negative words is very, very important. But let's just keep going with that one. But cute, think about that. It can make you look cute, bro. So it's the type of tattoos you get in. I think in general, tattoos, but some of them ain't even seen as tattoos when they're like a certain type. But let's just keep going.
If you don't have no tattoos, don't get any tattoos. Bare skin is so feminine and classy.
Please stop getting tattoos, okay? You are not going to end up with a life that you want with some giant tiger crawling down your leg.
You got to say that. So this lady, she's saying there's stuff, there's certain stuff as well that probably is gonna maybe disqualify you as well. I mean, we're just showing. Can y'all see? Because it's not just tats. Like you said, we said piercings. What else do you think could disqualify you? You guys want to leave it in the comments? All right, let's just continue, bro, because
crawling down your leg.
If you've ever felt like your look needed a little bit more pizzazz, a tattoo or piercing was probably your first thought to appear more expressive, confident, and a little bit more alive. Well, lately, I've been seeing a lot of women say that those same body modifications that make them feel expressive are now making them feel less feminine, less classy, and even...
Is she gonna say it? Hold up. Oh, bro, God, man. God,
Have a look.
bro. Even what?
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of women say that those same body modifications that make them feel expressive are now making them feel less feminine, less classy,
And
even dirty.
oh,
Now,
okay,
this isn't
I thought you were gonna say insecure, because I think that's definitely one of them. Most definitely. I don't know why they don't use that word. It's very common to use it, you know, in the opposite. But when it's, I mean, surely insecure.
going to be some regular conversation on tattoo regret, okay? Everybody has a tattoo they're not
Exactly,
too fond
yeah,
of anymore.
yeah.
I know I do. No, this body modification conversation is going to be about the growing rise in body purity and how society is slowly reshaping the beauty standard to be more clean. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now I'm not
It's not even clean, bro. It's natural, bro. Like y'all using the wrong word. You missed out using the word insecure. Now you missed out using the word. It's natural. It's just you know, just having your natural just features, like, you know, your natural skin, everything natural, nature. You know, like, bro.
Not saying you have to subscribe. You're classy. I know you don't just give those away for free, but hopefully at the end of this video, we become bestie enough for you to take that next step. If you notice, the news is sponsoring today's
We're gonna keep
area and lemon juice or
Stop me. I'm a runaway.
and that's what makes the history of body modification society started moving.
we gonna keep.
God that you could get that tattoo on your ribcage. Just think of all the people that got a mustache tattoo on their finger in 2009 because it was huge.
Celebrities and internet icons started showing off their new looks, including tattoo sleeves, thigh tattoos, nose rings, belly button piercings, and suddenly these things weren't rebellious at all. They were normal, they were hip, they were cool.
I feel a big contributing factor was, you know, celebrities from, you know, like high profile people in
All right,
music
we gonna
to
keep it moving.
athletes to,
We're gonna
you know,
move
movie
into
stars.
other
Behaviorism, mannerisms, high notch counts.
So this is another video talking about tats.
Behaviorism, mannerisms, high notch counts, boss girls, women that compete with you. What do you want to talk about?
The daddy issues one is interesting because if a woman has daddy issues,
anxiety issues around you, and some guys like that. You know, they like a chick that's got like daddy issues or don't typically value. So I think it's a definite. I see this all the time on social media. You know, I saw this the other day. I was showing my friend Gare. You know, mom couldn't afford a car, so son sold his Xbox, and I want a partner. And that's a word that bothers me, you know, because I often tell people now, it's like, is it husband? Is it wife? Is it boyfriend? Is it girlfriend? You're not partners. You're not equal. You're not running a law firm. You're not gay. Let's be honest here.
It is what
positions and places. Even when you look in egalitarian societies like in Norway or Sweden, or as tattoos, you know, try to force more equalism on everybody. Men and women are going to do what they're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So why are we playing games and lying to each other about that sort of stuff?
Yeah. All right. Since there's obviously a lot of red flags, which is in the previous book, which is probably the most underrated and overlooked.
The one that I get criticized the most for is tattoos. You know, I find women that have sat in a chair for hours and days on end, drawing on their body with little tattoos. It's kind of a masculine behavior. I think, you know, traditionally it was more of a masculine behavior. You know, when I was young, there was almost no women with tattoos. Now, in many places, especially in the West, it's very rare to see women without tattoos. In fact, more women have tattoos today than men do.
So we're going to go back to here. Right? So what he just mentioned was what we were just reading right there, guys. So actually, what we actually read, hold up. Right, we were reading. Research shows that men say that indicate that certain men prefer women without body art. Right, here it says that women are currently more likely to have tattoos. Exactly what this guy just said, with approximately 38% of women reporting having at least one tattoo. 38%. So let's just round up numbers. Let's try to crunch numbers, guys. Right. So let's just say 100 million. Right. It might be more, but 100 million people living in the United States. Right. 38%. Let's round that up to make it more easier. 40%. Right. So let's say it said approximately 40% of women reporting having at least one tattoo. All right. So 40% of 100 million would be 40 million. 40 million women have tattoos. And in fact, when you now round that up in terms of ages as well, what ages they are, a lot of them are between 18 to 50, guys. This is exactly the dating market, right? Of people that are actively dating, people that are, taking surveys and whatever and talking about, the dating market and what's good about it, what's bad about it. Those are the guys that's being focused on between 18 to 50. And they're saying approximately 38% of women reporting having at least one tattoo. But the thing about it, if we go back to, because things got to make sense, right? They got to connect. It's saying here, right? It says, if we go back to the one we just read, it said that other experimental field research reveals that tattooed women are often approached more frequently in social settings. So that makes it sound as though, okay, they're seen as more attractive. Guys prefer women with tats. That's what this is saying right now. So they approach them more because they find them more attractive. Is that the case, or is there something underlying that basically is this article being disingenuous? Let's go on. And these are you can see where this coming from. These are from the stuff that this is Reddit. Psychology Today is this one down here. I think what is this one here? Smithsonian Mag. This one right here. So it's actually reputable sources. All right. So if you go down here, it says what the research shows. What it actually shows, right, is mixed preferences. Opinions differ widely among men. A review of discussions on platforms like Reddit Ask Men Advice shows that while some men dislike visible or extensive ink, others view tattoos as an attractive form of self-expression. Once again, it's making it sound good. It's making it sound good. But then you go down here, and this one was the eye opener. It says attractiveness versus approachability. There's a difference. Right? It says a famous field study, right, by the Smithsonian Magazine, right? A famous field study on a beach found that men rated women with temporary tattoos as physically less attractive but sexually more promiscuous. That is what, when they say, when they were mentioning this right here, approached more frequently in social settings, they're approaching them more frequently in social settings because they found them sexually more promiscuous, not because they are more attractive. In fact, they find them physically less attractive. So when we, look at the dating market, everybody's talking about, oh man, this is not working. Men are trash. Men are saying the same thing about women. Oh, they care. They're not, they're not wifeable. All this stuff here. Women are saying the women, the men are not good enough. I can't take them seriously. And whatever. Well, all this stuff is, especially this specifically anyway. Like all this stuff is true, but at the same time, we gotta ask the whys. What's happening here? Why is this happening? And the reason why we brought up tattoos is because it's just a very popular thing. Many people have tattoos right now. In fact, let's just show the amount of people that have. So it says research on mate preferred. No, I want to see what it shows in terms of how many people actually have tattoos. So basically put it this way, guys, a lot of people around the world, men and women, have tattoos, a lot. But look what it says here, guys. It says approximately 38% of women reporting having at least one tattoo. Prevalence varies significantly by age, with up to 56% of women under 30 having ink. 56%. Now, other research now shows that in general, men from all ages prefer women between a certain age. That's usually, is it 18 and 24? So if 56% under 30 have ink, but then men in general don't actually find women to have ink to be good long-term partners, meaning they might approach you, but they're approaching you because they think you easy. They're approaching you because they think you are more sexually promiscuous. That's why they're approaching you. Right? It says, consequently, men approach the tattooed women much faster, more frequently, primarily because they perceive them as more approachable or available. Available for what? These are the facts that people are just not essentially revealing. That's why when you look at like this, our society right now, it's going down the drain. Like dating is going down the drain. People ain't, taking the whole relationship thing serious. Everybody's saying people ain't serious. Everybody's saying this person's not good enough, But when you look at it from the point of view of the guys wanting to take women seriously, women complain a lot. A lot of men are trash. Why are they trash? Well, for you to know a guy's trash, it's either maybe you've heard of him or it's most likely because you dealt with him. That's how you're able to decipher. Is he a good guy? Is he trash? If you're saying he's trash, then we're probably showing certain physical attributes, or right, there were certain things, maybe societal things that you've been showing that you probably ain't conducive to a long-term relationship. He's dealing with you and then finding this stuff out and then just acting accordingly. So if you got tats, for example, he's like, most men are like, yeah, I'm not, I can have fun with you because clearly you're someone that you like to be out there. You do things on a whim, and you might be fun, but I'm not trying to marry somebody. I'm not trying to, at least even if it's not married, be in a long-term situation with somebody like that. I'm not trying. I don't want that. But we're not telling this to well, this was never told. This is something we're having to find out just by living. Now people have become stats. They've become research. They become guinea pigs. And what it's showing is that men don't like this. Men don't want this. But because the actions of men were like, okay, I'm going to have fun anyway, they're going to have fun. So they're to blame. They're the ones that created it. We agree. That's the thing. We agree. Men created this, I guess, men were essentially adapting. Yes, you could say they created it, but they were adapting to what women were becoming. And men were like, all right, cool. But they definitely had an approach, a contribution in creating it. Because had men be like, nah, man, we don't want that. We don't want promiscuous women. Cool. But biology, that's not a man's biology. Just be honest. A man's biology is, if I'm gonna get what I can. And if she's attractive, yeah, I'm gonna add to a body count. Right? That's what I mean by men. Yes, we created that thing there. A woman's body count is going up. Who's doing that for her? Usually, right, from a heterosexual standpoint, right? Because it could be men, it could be same sex, but we're talking about heterosexually. Who's doing that? It's men, and it is. We're men telling this woman, oh man, I don't want you to add to your body count, so I'm gonna say no because I'm not gonna take it seriously. So because I'm not gonna take it seriously, I don't want to mess it up for another guy. That's not how life goes. That's what I'm saying. You can't, although women are going to say, oh yeah, man, they did create this. Yeah, it's their fault. That's just not how real life goes. A man is going to be like, yo, she's attractive. I want it. The same way a woman's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to want to, to kind of take you out and, have you spend money on me because why? I want you to find a real girl that really likes you so you can spend money on her. So I don't want you to waste that money on me. That's not how life goes, bro. That's not how things go. A woman's not going to now tell a guy to not spend on me when we go on a date. Even though I'm not into you like that, don't spend on me when we go on a date because I want you to save that money for somebody. It's not going to work that way. So for you to expect a man to be saying, nah, yeah, I'm not going to basically go all the way with you because I don't want to add to your body count because the guy that's out there for you is going to want you and he's going to turn him away. He just going to do what he's just going to take advantage. We both sexes, we both have things, that we do, and that's not right. Both do it. Both take advantage. So let's just not digress. I don't want people to start bringing in. Let's focus on the fact that what is causing people nowadays to not be together, to not want to start relationships, to not want something long term. One massive thing from a man's point of view is tats. It's tattoos. 1000%. A man sees it, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna take it seriously, but we can have fun. So this is now it's now a question for the ladies. Okay, now you know this. What would you want to do? And I mean, if we look, let's just try to make this clear, guys. Right? Let's just go. Let's crunch down more numbers to make it very, very clear as to why having tats isn't beneficial for women. It's not. Right? Here's the reason why. So now they took us to the UK. They say polling shows that 33% of British women are tattooed, which slightly outpaces the rate for men, which is 28%. Same in the US. Pew Research data highlights that 38% of American women have at least one tattoo compared to 27% of men. That's pretty much the same percentage of men from the UK and the US, right? Age factor. In the US, younger demographics drive these numbers heavily. 56, this is more than half, guys, of women aged 18 to 29 and 53% of women aged 30 to 49 report having tattoos, guys. How does this look in reality? Okay, this means that if you're based in the US and you approach a woman between the ages of 18 and 50, it is 50% likely this woman you're talking about has a tattoo, and this naturally usually turns a guy off, which means he's not going to take it seriously. If you add that, if you just piece that together, what I just said right there, exactly what I just said, I'm going to repeat this, guys. In fact, I might put this in the beginning of the video just to make it very clear. I want to state this to make sure very clear as to some of the main reasons, right, that's playing a role into why society, from a dating standpoint, from people being in relationships, why it's completely broke down. One of the common sense reasons, right, is this. In the US, as a guy, if you were to approach a woman between 18 to 50, there is a 50%, more than 50% likelihood that she has a tattoo. And the stats show that most men do not take women with tattoos seriously. Do you now see how this plays a massive role into why there's a divide between the sexes? There's a strong divide. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And people will be like, oh, but this is not, men shouldn't look that way. Men shouldn't see it that way. If you're going to judge me for my tats, you're not going to see what's on the inside, then I don't want to, then I'm not going to take you seriously. Well, that's the same way, again, if we flip that now and say, would a woman that says, I don't want to be with a man that's, not ambitious or got money, or doesn't have to have money, but ambitious and, wants to work hard to basically make a living, right? Acquire resources. If a woman says that, does that mean she's shallow? No. In fact, everybody would agree that that's a wise woman. We got to make sure that we doing that, by the way, as well. Separate from the gold diggers from wise women. Because anybody that's just clear, we know what the difference is. I ain't even got to explain it, right? A gold digger is obvious. Somebody that's just money. They don't care about the, everything else, right? That is attached there. Whereas a wise woman is somebody that's looking at a person's character. Okay, this guy's character lets me know that if he was put in a position to make money, he'll be able to do it. Why? Because his character shows that he's a hard worker, right? And he's ambitious. So women that look for that are wise women. Don't call them gold diggers. This is what you support. You do not want your mother to be like that, your daughter to be like that. So if that's what you want from the women around you, then these are wise women. Women that know that he's gotta have that ambition. He gotta want to work hard, because why? Once he gets put in a position where he can make money, it's gonna flow freely, right? Like a water fountain. Because why? This guy's a hard worker. That's a wise person. Guys, we gotta flip that now. A man that looks at a woman that has got tats and he's like, I'm gonna have to think about that, and is a wise man. He's not a judgmental person that, if he's not for me then. That's like a woman saying a guy's not for me that's like a guy saying she's not for me if all she wants to know is if I have the ambition to make money. She's not for me then, because she should be able to accept me for how I am. That's ridiculous. Some might still think the equivalent isn't right. You can't, that's not the equivalent. You can't say that a woman not wanting a man that's not ambitious and, has the ability to make money in the future is not the same as a man that is, not wanting a woman with tats. Well, I'm going to explain to you why it is, guys, right? I'm going to explain to you why exactly it is. Think about this, right? A woman that gets tats, right, is usually something that is very rare. Somebody's getting tat for a reason other than I'm just excited, spur of the moment, and I just want to do it. And, I was just being just free spirited, and that's all it was. Cool. I mean, that's good. But what it lets the man know is that first off, you highly emotive, which is fine because men and women have emotions. That's another thing people say, oh, man, women are more emotional. No, it's not that women are more emotional. Women are more allowed to express their emotions outwardly. Why is that? Because naturally they know that it's not going to affect them. If they were to cry, and if a woman was to cry in public, it would actually work for her. Because people want to protect her, maybe give her a hug, what's up, and whatever. People are gonna want to comfort her. Wherever if a man's doing it, people might think, yo, this guy's crying randomly in the street like that, tears and just looking crazy. This guy, you're gonna go shoot up a school? What's up with you, bro? No one's gonna come and hug him. Whatever. Police might come to him and start asking questions. You see why, it's not a situation when people say that, oh, women are more emotional. No, men have emotions, bro. Men, in fact, when men have emotions, they do more heinous stuff. That's why it's good for men to be able to control emotions. So it's a thing of, expressing it outwardly, right? Being, explicitly emotive about your emotions is something women can do and benefit from, right? So that's the whole thing with the whole emotion thing when we talk about it. So a man now seeing a woman that's got tats shows that, okay, like I said, they can be highly emotive, which is fine. But when you're in that heightened sense of emotion, right? When you're in that heightened sense, right, of emotion. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. When you're in that heightened sense of emotion, what are you doing? Are you able to control yourself? Because a lot of people, they'll tell you they got tats that, just for fun, it doesn't make sense, is because they were highly emotional at the time. Not, crying or anything, but excited. And people like that are usually very impulsive. So that's tied to impulse, a person that's impulsive, right? So a person that's impulsive like that, you do something that is that's permanent, I'm gonna get a tat that's permanent, and not even knowing the implication it can have in the future, is not somebody that's wise. So a man that now just doesn't take this into consideration and sees a woman that has tats is not a wise man, because the woman that did that, you need to understand, if she's acting like that impulsive when she's highly emotive, a man just piecing it together and thinking to himself, okay, so you can do that when you're so emotional, right? Or and you do something like that. So what if you just, I'm in a serious relationship with you, yeah, like we've been going for years, and now you just feel a certain way. What makes it, what is not gonna make, why would you not just get up and be like, yeah, I feel a certain way now, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. God forbid now we married and I lose a whole lot. So you see the connection a man is making, why a man gotta think this way. Oh, that's thinking too far. No, that's just how a man thinks. You don't see men saying, why is the woman thinking this way? Why is she thinking too far with the man's, because he doesn't want to make money right now. He might change. She's not thinking about that. She's thinking about, that is a characteristic flaw. If you not being ambitious, and wanted to make money, that's a character flaw, and it's gonna affect me. It's the same way as a guy thinking that's a character flaw. You being that impulsive till you did that. There's so much stuff you could have did besides getting attacked because you were so highly emotive. You were just having fun. You were like, oh my gosh, I want to do something crazy. Some people do something crazy like go to Vegas to get married because they're so just highly emotive, highly emotional. They're going to do something like that. Some people get tats. The thing about tats is that it's the way it's viewed. A man who probably is more likely to, okay, I'll be with this woman that ran off with some random guy, got excited and, just got married, got it, and that got annulled, not too long after, but I'd rather be with her than a woman with tats. There's a reason, because why? This is a permanent thing you just did. The tats, yes, it can be removed, whatever, but still, to get the laser stuff, like it's a lot of work. It might still show some of the sign. It still shows that this is an impulsive person. It's not going to benefit me in the future because this person might be impulsive in various stuff. And the worstest one is being in a serious relationship with the person and them just acting I want to leave, just acting crazy like that. That's why, these are the dots people are connecting. So it's the exact same thing. That's the equivalent, right? A woman doesn't want a guy like that I just described same way as a man does not want a woman that's got tats. This stuff connects, guys. It's not just, you can't judge me, whatever. You don't know how I am on the inside. If you judge me like that, and I got tats, and I don't want to be with somebody like that. Yeah, it was the same way you could say, okay, women, stop going for guys, that are broke, basically, that don't have ambition, because you don't know what's on the inside. There's a lot of good guys that just don't have the proclivity to work. They don't want to work or work hard. They don't have ambition. Be with that guy. Why aren't you being with that guy? Right? Is it not morally wrong that you're not looking on the inside on what the person is? It's the exact same thing. The guy doesn't have to look at, she's good, she got tats, but on the inside, no, we don't care, bro. Men are visual creatures. Women are too, but not as much as men. Women are happy to compromise on certain stuff, especially if a guy, okay, you don't look that good, but you're taking care of me and everything else is all good. I can do. Man, it's like, bro, for guys, it's how you look is almost everything. Now, everything else follows. Everything else follows after how you look. A woman could have amazing morals, whatever, good values, but if she don't look good, right, he's just not even a look good, physical type. Right? Physical type is very important. A man would rather go with his physical type of women, even if she doesn't have the morals and all the stuff is not in check. He'd rather work with that, as long as he's physical type. We're not talking about somebody, you ain't got to be a supermodel. Everybody has their own thing. Beauty is subjective. So if a guy sees his physical type, we're telling you he'd rather work, even though it might be more difficult because the morals and values are kind of not there. He would rather work with her than be with somebody that's got perfect morals, perfect values, but just not his physical type. He just, that's how men operate. So that's why the whole physical thing is so important. That's why tattoos is so important. He's always going to, tie the tat. He's going to see with his eyes. He's going to tie it with, this woman's impulsive. She might be reckless. Like this might affect me in the future. It all ties in. All this stuff is really deep psychology where people don't want to, take into consideration. They just want to see that's just surface level. He's this. If he's going to judge me about my tats, then, I don't think I should have something like that. That's a wise person. That's a wise person that's doing that. Same way as a wise woman that is looking for a guy that, is hardworking. So, guys, I mean, that was a long, explanation, but we're trying to break it down because if this is what it is right now, 18 to 50, 56% of them have tats. Well, I mean, you got to understand, like, men ain't going to change. Men haven't changed. They haven't changed. If they changed, if men had changed, men would accept this and be like, all right, it's all good. I'm going to be with, a woman that's got tats. But men just, they didn't have it. The guy mentioned it back in the day, he almost never saw women with tats. They were getting married. Now, for some reason, women are getting tats, and now the marriage rates have declined. Do y'all not see a connection? You don't see a link there? Is it not making sense? Like, how are we struggling to understand this stuff? Like, what is going on right now in the world? What is going on? It's just crazy that's how much that figure, though these figures are massive. This is over 50% of women between age 18 to 50 has got tats. But then men don't even like tats. Most men don't even like tats. This is crazy. This is just crazy work, bro. Ultimately, attitudes toward tattoos are highly subjective and vary based on the man's age. Correct. Cultural background, yep. And the size of placement of the tattoo itself. Size and placement. Remember the beginning? In the very beginning when I said that woman talking about piercings and she said cute? That's a big thing. Because when it comes to the tats that a woman has, this is going to sound crazy, right? People are going to be like, we don't understand. You see, this is why it's confusing. This is going to sound crazy, but we're going to say it anyway. There are some guys that actually, if a girl's got a tat and it's like a little, I don't know, like a love heart, it's not like a, actual heart, a love heart that's filled in red. No, it's just the outline, of a love heart. Small something, maybe on the ankle. Some guys will actually tell you, I actually like that more than a woman with no tats. Now, that sounds crazy, but again, because you need to understand the psychology. The men like women that are cute, right? And cute in the actual word, not when women say, "Oh, that guy's cute," which actually means he's attractive. No, men like women that are cute, have cute behaviors, acting kind of, like cute. Y'all know what cute is. Men like that. So there's men that would naturally be like, "Nah, I like the fact that she's got a little, heart, little thing, or like a small tiny butterfly that it almost doesn't even look like a tat. She got it like in the inside of her palm, like what, just under her palm, like her wrist area, the inside of her wrists." right there, that little like delicate, sensitive, vulnerable area there, her having it there, a man might say, I actually find that even more attractive. Now this is almost like, you know, like contradictory, because women be like, well, that doesn't make sense. You just said men don't like tats. Well, again, the thing of cute is context here. The thing of cute is it plays a massive role, because size and placement is everything, right? So there's some men that like it. I prefer women with none. Just I don't want that. I don't think her having a small one anywhere makes it even better. Nah, but some men actually do. Some men actually do. In fact, I will tell you that it might be a large percentage of men that actually like that. It might not be a majority, but it might be. I won't be surprised if it came up and say it's 40% of men that like that. I won't be surprised. I would not be surprised if men that like a small tattoo that's placed in a certain area. Cool. They would like that and I'm saying they would like it from a woman to have long term, someone they can marry, not just have fun. No. Small tattoo placed in a certain area, they're like, that turns me on even more, and I want to be with her even more long term. That happens, guys, right? That happens. So, you know, if you want to like debate in the comment section to, I don't know, figure out why, or cool, I mean, we're happy to have that discussion, but we're just letting you know, like, there's stuff, you know, there's stuff that women will say that they like, you know, that won't make sense to men. You know, both sexes have certain stuff that's just like, how does that even make sense? But again, when you add it to the fact that, you know, how men view women, that whole a small, you know, cute tat, right, in a certain place. Like, for example, she can't have a cute tat. That tat being put in it where Lil Wayne puts his eye drops. Tat. That doesn't make sense, man. Having a heart tat on just under your eye for what? That a man's gonna question your decision making. But when it's somewhere where it can't be seen, whatever. In fact, I'm gonna go even further. This is gonna be even more controversial, right? I'm going as far as saying, when it comes to tattoos, guys will prefer a woman with a high body count, but they never knew about it and they can't find out, right? Unless they really get to know her and they start seeing signs of this woman that she's acting like she's been promiscuous. If he don't know and he's having to get to know her, a man would rather that than having a woman that has a visible tattoo. Honestly, I'm telling you. Now, if he finds out, it's different. It's absolutely different. But I'm trying to tell you that what I'm trying to show you right there is everything is visual for men. I'm trying to tell you. Now, if he now gets to know you and he finds out that the whole, oh, she got this, she got that, body, this and that, promiscuity, you know, like promiscuity is rife within her life. That rhymed accidentally. I didn't mean to do that. But, you know, if he finds that out now, yeah, then that's going to change everything. But from initial, men are so visual that from initial, if he would definitely be open to being with this woman, if he finds out that she's promiscuous, he might want to, he's going to go ask around to make sure. He'll still, you know, he's going to have serious doubts if he hears that from somebody saying, oh yeah, she did this, she did that. But if he like finds out that, oh snap, it's a number I can deal with. The way this guy was talking about it, he's got his own, right? He's got his own number of what's too much at a certain age. But the fact I found out what it is, that's the number. A man might just be like, yeah, I'm happy to, you know, I'm happy to remain, and will pick that over a woman that has tattoo. But there's no proof of what, he doesn't know if she's got low body count, whatever. I'm telling y'all in the comments, y'all guys can, please, let's debate it. We can debate it, guys. You know, let it be known if that's what, you know, explain yourselves. But we telling you right now, we're going to repeat it. A guy is more likely to accept a woman that he's not aware of her promiscuity, body count, whatever, right? And he's likely to want to pick her and take her more seriously because she has no tats compared to a woman that does have a tat. Because everything is visual. It's only when you get to know the person, things might change. You know, if you got a crazy body count and the other woman has a low body count but a tat, he might now go with the woman with the tat, basically. But you're saying something that you're trying to tell people to don't take people at face value, when if y'all saw a bum on the street, y'all won't take him at face value and be like, oh, he might be a millionaire. No, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares why you looking like a bum. Like, even if you come out to say you're a millionaire, you should be like, but why are you trying to act? I ain't got time for that. Because like appearance is everything. But for men, it's like paramount. It's like men approach women usually. That's what usually happens. So if we're gonna approach you, you need to be my physical type, and one of them is me looking at you and liking what I see, but at the same time, me not seeing certain things that are gonna make me think that I can't do with you long term. One of them, tats. Other things can be piercings. Other things is how you dress. If you're scantily, dressing scantily clad, and when it's not really needed, it's just clearly for attention. A man would already know what he's bringing. So again, I could have fun with you, but I cannot take you seriously. All these things plays a part. We're trying to tell you. If you don't listen, it's on you, bro. Let's see what other videos are out there, man. Because I've just been rambling on for so long, basically. I didn't want to, but sometimes you gotta explain stuff really, deep for people, bro. Let's just see other videos of what people are talking about.
Just wanting to be loved, wanting to.
Hold up.
I hate my tattoos, and let me tell you why. So I've never, ever seen anyone talk about this openly on the internet. I personally regret every single tattoo I've ever gotten. I started getting them at 18, and since I was maybe 10 years old, I was going through some identity crisis, wanting to be loved, wanting to be accepted, and for me, that was my way to do that. And I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. You're not gonna find many heavily tattooed people admit that. Whenever somebody asks me about a tattoo, should I get a hand tattoo? No, please don't get it. Or at least wait a long time until you're 100% certain that you want it. And everyone is always shocked that I say that. And I wish I had somebody when I was younger to tell me that. I have 2 boys, and they know I don't want them to get tattoos. However, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. And who am I to say no? It's been a few years now, but I started getting a few small tattoos removed, and it's painful. If I had the opportunity and the money, I would completely remove every single tattoo on my body. You best believe as soon as I hit 1 million followers on here, I will be getting a full body tattoo removal, and I will be taking you all with me. Now, don't get me wrong, I love tattoos. I have many tattooed friends. I think they're beautiful. I think they're unique. It shows your creative side. I have nothing against tattoos, but personally, I regret every single tattoo I've ever gotten. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here and say that. I know I have a lot of younger girls that follow me, and I just wanted to be open and honest about what people don't talk about. All right, guys, have a great day.
And it's very admirable that woman said that, because this is what we're trying to basically, explain to women of, like younger, like girls. I mean, because if over 50% of 18 to 50-year-olds in the US have tats, well, and studies are showing that men don't like them. Most men don't actually like them, and even if they are to approach women, is because they think you're promiscuous. That is a negative thing, man. That's not great. Which means society's cooked. I'm stringing sentences together that should make you realize how ridiculously cooked we are. We done. Once again, 50% and over of 18 to 50. That is the dating. That is people that are supposed to be actively dating. 18 to 50-year-olds, 50% plus of them have tattoos, and guys don't usually like women that have tattoos for a long-term relationship. That means long-term relationships ain't happening. So who can we give advice to? I mean, the older generation that are over 50s, those that probably don't have tattoos, we ain't got to do anything, there, because, they are either, settled down, have done what they needed to do. So it's all good, whatever. They ain't worry about that stuff anymore. So we got to focus on who? On the youngers. Right? On the younger ones. So girls, little girls, like the previous woman just said, there's a lot of young girls that follow her. We need to someone needs to do a Bible. We need to create a Bible, man. Like a tattoo Bible. I don't know if you call it a tattoo Bible, because there's many other stuff, piercing, whatever. But, need to create a Bible, right? That explains this stuff, right? A book, something like a wisdom book that explains to the young girls coming up as to why you really want to think about all this. I don't know what to call it, man. Just free-spiritedness. let's call it that, free-spiritedness that you are doing, right? We keep hearing women saying that men don't want to take me seriously. Men don't take me seriously. Men don't want long-term relationships. Men are trash because they don't want long-term relationships. We can't find good men. But your activities and the stuff you're doing and what's attached to you, what's attached to your physical, isn't helping y'all. You're dealing with a guy that doesn't want to take you seriously because if you not look at yourself and be like, why? Okay, I got piercings. I got a tat. Okay, I've got these type of views that a lot of men ain't liking. You know, I'm someone that, you know, I want to be able to do this, do that. And men don't actually like that for long-term stuff, but I still want to be able to do it and for them still to expect and for them to still accept me. That's like me telling a guy, sorry, that's like a guy telling me I want to be basically broke, but you have to accept me, right? These are the stuff that we look for in a long-term person, right? Someone that we want to be with. We look for that in somebody. We look for stuff that is gonna, you know, make to help the relationship grow. So if you're now saying that, no, I don't care, I still want to do my stuff and the person still gotta accept me, well, then you're gonna have to accept a broke person. This is why the whole thing is messed up. Somebody's gonna have to put together, like I said, like a wisdom book to put all this stuff in there, cram it in there, and show young girls these are the these are the facts. These are the stats and statistics. These are here right here. We're showing y'all. Before you get this tap, before you get this piercing, before you behave in that manner in the dating market, although you could do what you want, these are the stats. This is what awaits you. Is this what you want to do? Is this what you really want? Ask yourself, is this what you really want? Because if it is, read those stats and weep. It's not going to get any better. It's not. It's like 18 to 50-year-olds, it's like they're cooked. It's done. If 50% of y'all have got this stuff, you done. We got to move on to the next generation and try to have them and give them this wisdom book of life to let them know, look, read this as well as reading the Bible or the Quran or the Vedas or the I don't know, the Book of Horus, whatever you read it, man. Read all these, you know, Torah. Read these, read that as well as read this, the book of the book of the dating mark, whatever they call it, man. We might have to put it together. We might have to, you know, get the help of AI to publish this book, man, to show people what is actually, if you piece together what people are saying on the internet, because we're just human beings, but now attach it to the stats so we can make sense of this information. Let's make sense of it. What logic is showing, right, is that men do not like this thing, and this is directly contributed, right? Not just it alone in isolation, but for 1000%, stuff like tats and piercings and all this stuff has directly contributed. It's not a coincidence that while this increased from the women's standpoint, while they've increased to do this type of stuff, doing this type of things, the relationships, right? The number of relationships have decreased. The number of marriages have decreased. Divorce rates, in fact, we can't even add divorce rates, because divorce rates means that people are getting divorced because of that. That's not why people are getting divorced. There's other reasons. It's usually, you know, financial reasons. So let's just scrap the divorce stuff. But people not getting together, right? A man, specifically men, men being the, you know, people say this a lot. Men being the, you know, men hold the kingdoms to relationships, right? They hold the keys to the city when it comes to relationships. Same way women hold the keys to the city when it comes to sexuality. Women are the dominant gender when it comes to sexuality. Men, you know, we desperate for women. That's what it is from a sexuality standpoint. Women are desperate for stability, relationship, all that stuff from men. So men hold that key. So as a result, if men hold that key and men are saying, men are even saying, they're acting, they're showing it. All these things men will never say to a woman directly in her face. They just get what they want. But anonymously, they're doing surveys and they're telling you the truth. We got to put this together and give it to the younger generation. Look, young girls, you want a long-term thing, long-term relationship, someone to take you seriously, a guy to take care of you, a guy to be chivalrous. Read this and let us know what you want to do, where you want to be in life. Because these people here, all these people we're looking at, they're cooked. We cooked. I'm gonna throw myself in it. We all cooked. How life is right now. We are that 18 to 50 generation, that dating market. That's the prime of people that's supposed to be dating. They're not doing it, and the reasons why shows that we are actually cooked. It's not gonna change. We're not gonna be the ones that are gonna be helping. Proliferate, you know, the human race and, you know, contributing to the the what is it? The maintenance. Oh, it's not maintenance. I'm just stressed out right now. Let's just let this woman talk, man, because I'm tired, bro.
Imagine, if you will, that you put a shirt on once when you were in your 20s, and now you have to wear that for the rest of your life. And that is what it feels like to get heavily tattooed before you turn into a fully developed adult human. I wanted to talk about, there's like a lot of reasons to regret my tattoos, but today specifically I wanted to talk about not matching my aesthetic, right? So I think if you asked almost anybody that's over 30, if they have a better idea of who they are in their 30s than they did in their 20s, they're going to be like, oh my god, yes. I have all of these tattoos that don't necessarily reflect who I am at 36. They might have reflected a moment in time in my 20s, maybe a moment in time that I was like not doing so well mentally, and they are here forever. Before anybody says anything, no, I'm not getting all of my tattoos removed. Like, that's not even feasible. Don't even suggest it.
Notice she said that they may have reflected who I am when I was a certain. They never did. This is what you don't understand. They never did. That's like a guy saying that, yeah, again, this is the you might not like the equivalent I'm about to make, but it is the equivalent. Right? That's like a guy basically running around saying that, oh yeah, me doing crime, whatever the case may be, that might have reflected how I was when I was a bad boy. It reflected when I was when I was in my 20s. No, it never did, bro. You just wasn't taught well. You didn't get the right information. You didn't, the stuff you were doing was wrong. You knew it was wrong. You knew it was this probably not gonna. You knew it. I might not like this when I get to a certain point, but you just didn't think about the future. Most people that do this type of things don't think about future. This is why we're saying that a sensible man, right? A wise man, specifically, not even sense, but a wise man is going to see a woman with tats and run the other way, because you're not thinking future. A woman that's saying, "Oh, a man doesn't have drive and ambition, I still give him a chance." You're not wise because you're not thinking about the future. When you think about the future, this stuff just makes sense to people that think long term. People that think long term are usually common sense people, because they're like, cool, I am what I am right now, live in the moment, but always understand that you need to have a backup for if you get to a stage where things change, because it will happen if you plan to live long. So why are you not thinking already like that now? Because you lack wisdom. There is no way, and any time, 20s, whatever, this was a good reflection of who you were then. It never was. You just lacked wisdom. And people like that, you can't feel sorry for them, and you can't take them seriously and in that time. If they're making ridiculous decisions in that time frame, leave them. These people lack wisdom, and they're gonna regret and start creating YouTube channels talking about, explaining themselves, bro. You no need to explain, bro. It's not smart. We all make mistakes, right? We all do. We're not here to say, because we're all weirdos. I want y'all to know this. Anytime I speak of this stuff, I'm always including myself and always putting myself in there, because why? Just how I'm judging, she also judges. To this day, there was a point in time she probably didn't have tattoos and was judging people. She has tattoos and she's still judging people. I'm the same. I got stuff I'm not proud about, and I'm judging people, because why? We are all addicted weirdos. We're weirdos. We're addicted to something, and we're weirdos, right? We think that, we the exceptions. We are weirdos, bruh. Some people just don't want to admit it. Some people don't want to accept it. You're a weirdo, bruh. Like, it's the fact that you made the decision wasn't smart, right? But I'm not far behind from you. I'm not. I'm just here to basically just, report these stuff, because we gotta wake up as people, man. This is crazy.
Generally, I have like a lot more femme, girly aesthetic than I did when I was younger. I was a lot more dark and spooky and moody. And now, like, I have a...
You have a what? Sorry, guys. What happened? Oh, gosh. All right, just give it a second. We gonna find it. There you go.
Better idea of who they are in their 30s than they did in their 20s. They're going to be like, oh my god, yes. I have all of these tattoos that don't necessarily reflect who I am at 36. A kid, like, collecting antiques and spending time outside. I'm not getting all of my tattoos removed. Like, that's not even feasible. Better idea of who they are in their 30s than they did in their 20s. They're going to be like, oh my god, yes. I have all of these tattoos that don't necessarily reflect who I am at 36. They might have reflected a moment in time in my 20s, maybe a moment in time that I was like not doing so well mentally, and they are here forever. Before anybody says anything, no, I'm not getting all of my tattoos removed. Like, that's not even feasible. Don't even suggest it. Generally, I have like a lot more femme, girly aesthetic than I did when I was younger. I was a lot more dark and spooky and moody, and now like I have adult problems. I'm back to doing a bunch of stuff I liked to do when I was a kid, like collecting antiques and spending time outside, and I wear a lot of white and ruffles. My aesthetic just does not match. No shade to the artists, still get a ton of compliments on them, just wish that they weren't on my body, but I wanted to come on here and put myself out there and say I was told that I would regret my tattoos when I got older. I am older and I do regret my tattoos, and you might too.
I think I'm trying to think of like because if they're just acting on a women just being impulsive, I think what will make sense is for people the moving forward, somebody's got to do this, right? This is just how we think. I'm a weirdo, so somebody needs to create a business where people are able to create, like, I was gonna say skin grafts. That's a bit too much, but something close to as close to someone's skin, right? And then you have that person wear that thing, and then people do tats on them, so they can wear it whenever they wanna, whenever they feel like, oh yeah, I won't go out. I feel like I wanna get tats. Cool, wear that thing that is been developed where it can could withstand that type of pressure of tats being on it, and it doesn't tear or rip. You feel me? And wear it so that now has your tats, so that you can take it off when you want to, and you can actually have your own natural skin there. I think somebody needs to invent that, because for a whole generation of 18 to 50, right, to be in this situation right now where the majority of men just are not gonna want to mess with women that are between 18 to 50, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like, that generation right there is we are a lost generation, bro. We are a lost generation. We need to just be thrown in the bin, bro. Like, it's just crazy. But somebody needs to invent that, right? A skin, something that resembles somebody's skin in the terms of maybe the feel, the texture, but definitely the look. So they can then do the tats on there, and then they be able to take it off. Because at least the more they wear it, people really gonna believe that that's you. So if a man now comes like that, another guy that said, a woman that said, oh yeah, a guy said that you were so pretty, why would you have the tats on you? How you gonna find a husband? Well, if she now grows up and the guy finds out, oh snap, you don't have tats, he might take her seriously then. You feel me? So there's still a chance. Right now there is none. You could be 22 right now and got tats like this girl, and the man's like, yeah, I'm not. I would never take you seriously. I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how motherly you appear. Like, this is not. It will not be wise of me. If I was to make an investment, I will not be making an investment on you as a stock, because you're likely gonna fail. You feel me? Like, it's not gonna be good for me. Like, something's gonna happen. Some type of malfunction is gonna happen where you're gonna just bug out, and I'm gonna lose stuff I built. All this. This is the risk taken. This is why they don't understand when men are saying I don't want tats. It's not to down you, whatever. It's I'm trying to make a well-informed decision, right, on an investment I'm about to make. You are the investment. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's talk about tattoo shock. First of all, when I heard this term before, I thought it wasn't real, because I have personally loved every single piece of ink that has been put on my body. I'm like, this is the coolest fucking shit I've ever... Gonna edit that out. This is the coolest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the coolest thing. I'm so much cooler now. I just went from like, okay, cool to like freaking awesome.
So just before you continue, this is projection. This is a lot what it happens a lot where you're projecting what you want from somebody else. You think that you need that in order to look. Maybe you just gotta ask these people, was you getting some attention at a certain time frame when you didn't have them? Would you get in attention? Because that already is proof that you probably don't need it, but it's just pure. This is just pure. This is just projection. That's all that concept is. That's what that is.
Until a week and a half ago, I went back to Texas for one of my best friend's baby showers because she's 8 months pregnant, and I'm so excited. But all our artists are in Texas, and so when in Texas we get tatted. So I hit up my guy that has done all my favorite tattoos.
Who's we? Who's we? So just be following people. Just be who's we? What do you mean we get tatted? You can't just be you can't just be following people, the crowd, like sheep. You gotta like.
He's the homie. Anyway,
and the reason why, and people can say, oh yeah, no, just for that time frame, that's what you thought that way. But the reason why we know this is because you regretted it at the end of the day. So there must have been something was in the back of your mind, right? That's like thinking to yourself that, oh man, there's something about this guy. Something isn't right. My intuition. So I mean, it was not the same thing. And you guys just still get with the guy. You still get the tats. Everything that's just, I don't know. You just still do it anyway. Like, come on, bro.
Like, hey, you have space on Saturday? And he's like, yeah, totally. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. Didn't know exactly what I wanted. Don't usually do. It's fine. I was like, oh my gosh, I love peacocks. I love peacocks. It's always been a peacock. He's like, sick. I'm just going to draw a few more feathers. Give me like a few minutes. I'm like, great. Comes back, puts the stencil on, does the peacock. I'm like, coolest stuff ever. Placement is divine. Love it, love it, love it. I love it. So, I had this horseshoe on the inside of my arm that Wyatt, one of his friends that used to work at that shop, did. Great horseshoe. I wanted it more filled in because it was so plain. It was literally just a horseshoe. It was great. It was literally exactly what I asked for. But I thought once I get more tattoos, it'll look funky, all empty, just like a plain horseshoe. So I asked if he would be up for filling in with flowers. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So he like drew in flowers and whatnot. And I'm like, let's add a butterfly. And he was like, hell yeah. So we added a butterfly. And I have never had like a drawn before. I've had like maybe they put the stencil here and draw a couple leaves or like edit a couple leaves, but nothing, not like a full draw on tattoo before. So I just kind of had to
Where are you going with this? Like,
he does the tattoo and immediately I'm like, it's cool. I'm not obsessed for some reason though. And then that night I was like spiraling because it was wrapped and I was like, oh, what even did I do? Like, this is so weird. I don't feel like myself. It doesn't feel right. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the next day I'm like having a full-on freak out about it. And I'm like freaking out about it. And I'm like watching all these videos on TikTok and I'm like, tattoo regret, laser removal, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it looked so dark and I was so, even when I was wearing long sleeves, I'm like, I know it's there. It's been 8 days. This was last Saturday and it's now Tuesday. And I was walking with my best friend last night and I go, what do you think of my new tat? And she was like, it's beautiful. And I was like, wow, it is beautiful. I don't know why it took my best friend to tell me that it was beautiful for me to believe it's beautiful. But it's freaking sick.
Because you a lot of people don't think for themselves. Like, genuinely, what she's thinking, right? Her own inner thoughts are telling her what the truth is. Her friend doesn't have friend doesn't have the cojones, right, to tell her, I'm not, like, first off, does a friend have tats? Because if a friend don't have tats, cool. If a friend has tats, she's probably just telling her stuff just to cope. But if a friend does not have tats, a friend lied to her. And a lot of this comes from the fact that women aren't being raised like ladies. Think about it. Like, why would you do this? You gotta ask yourself, why would somebody do this, right? If you're raised like a lady and it just resonates from you, like, just being lady, just natural to you. You wouldn't do this, but it's because now how the mentals, like, how of women of today is not ladylike. So as a result, they will do stuff not even realizing that this is quite masculine. But some do realize it, but they've kind of internalized that whole masculine thing because they've connected it to the whole, I need to get a job, and for me to get a job, I need to have masculine traits. So as a result, they will do this stuff, almost not even realizing that, man, I'm really, like, this stuff is actually masculine as well. Yes, it's art, but from the point of view of the opposite sex that want to be attracted to me, is it just art? Because they may say, oh, I don't care about this stuff like that. I don't care what anybody else thinks. But then if you ask them, do you ever want to find somebody, even if it's I was going to say the S word, but even if it's that person that's just, you you don't really respect like that. They're gonna say, yeah, I would like to have somebody with me, that love and respects me, whatever. Cool. If that person had their own, wants and needs, it'll be preferably stats. We're not just saying this. Read stats, right? Stats are saying this stuff. They'll preferably tell you, nah, I prefer you not to have a tat. I'll prefer you not to have a tat. So it's like they're being raised, and it's like they're taking on a lot of masculine thoughts and not realizing that this is what's making them behave like this. She's saying how she wasn't sure, this and that. I'm not gonna, I'm this and that. I'm not sure. It's this thing. It's just a thing we do. Like, so, which means you wasn't, whoever was raising you didn't give you the right teachings and, things probably not to do if you want to be taken seriously from it. I guess the people that thought that way, did they just think that men have changed and they might accept you? Oh, a lot of men have tats, so maybe it's just a normal thing now for women to do it as well. No, it's not, bro. Like this, the two are not the same. Men and women are not the same. Like, we're not gonna like the same stuff, or accept the same things. It just doesn't go like that. This is why we match and we work because there's certain stuff we compromise with each other with. Some stuff is just not. You just can't compromise with it. Why? Because it's like reminding me of myself. So you getting tats reminds, if a guy's got tats and you see a girl getting tats, it's gonna remind him of himself. It's like, that's like me dating you got tats as well. It wasn't usually a normal thing for women to do, but now looking at the stats, it's showing that over 50% of 18 to 50-year-olds are getting tats, which is now it's become the normal thing. It just now has become normal. That's crazy. So now it's actually a normal thing. If you don't have a tat, if you're between 18 to 50 and you don't have a tat, you are not part of the majority of the population anymore. You are part of the minority if you don't have a tat. That's an achievement.
Okay, it's literally, I honestly feel like it's almost my most classic trad piece now. Like, I think I genuinely just needed the ink to settle a little.
Trad piece?
Because it was so dark. Okay, is this like one of the coolest tattoos I have?
Wow.
Please and thank you. It's freaking awesome, and I'm obsessed. So,
yo, that smile does not look genuine, man. We're not just saying that. That does not look, bro. People,
So,
bro, this looks genuine to you.
So dark. Okay, is this not one of the coolest tattoos I have?
This looks genuine to
please
you.
And thank you.
Look at this smile.
It's freaking awesome, and
wow.
I'm obsessed. So, if you ever have tattoo regret or tattoo shock, just know what happens to the best of us. I'm literally like freaking so confident, and I get so hyped on my tattoos, and I'm like, look at my tattoo, look at my new tattoo, and people can be like, oh, that's dark, oh, that's interesting, why'd you get a snake in a boot? And I'll be like, because it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I look freaking cool with it, even if you don't want to admit it. But for some reason, this one was just getting to. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
What? She's all sorts of emotion in one. Like, she's anxious at the same time, trying to act excited at the same time, slightly depressed. Bro, I'm just seeing so much emotion, bro.
I look freaking cool with it, even if you don't want to admit it. But for some reason, this one was just getting to. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. You're not alone. Anyway, let's just appreciate how cool I look. And if you need me to hype up your tattoos, I got you. Because I will. Sometimes you just need some other people to hype you up.
Eyes don't lie. Eyes.
Gen Z, can you please let me know if
eyes do not lie.
Tattoos are still trendy and cool? As a millennial growing up, getting tattoos was like the coolest thing ever. Now that I'm in my 30s, I cannot tell you how much I regret my tattoos. I feel like I have this big blob on my thigh. The tattoos on my back, thank God I don't have to look at them every day, because if I did, I would be absolutely repulsed. I just wish I put a little bit more effort and thought into what tattoos I got. And
we gotta raise we gotta put together a wisdom book, bro. We gotta put together a wisdom book for the young generation. I'm hearing girls as young as 13 I think about this stuff. We gotta give them a book, bro. You got to give them a book, and the book has got to, it's not just got to have text, it's got to have videos like this. It's got to involve videos like this. So it's got to be like an iPad, a wisdom iPad. Because this is crazy, bro. Like, these 18 to 15-year-olds they've gone wild. We're gonna watch another. I want to watch more of this, but I just
the placement.
Sometimes disappointment.
Right,
that contrast.
I have a tattoo on my face. What if when I wake up 10 years from now, I don't like it? Then what? It may look cute, and this is the thing. It may look good on your 20-year-old body. It may look good on your 20-year-old face, those tattoos. But when you hit 30...
Face? Oh, you bugging, bro. They all just bugging, bro. You know what? Let's watch this one, because I want to watch this one.
I've been hit on in regard a woman's body attract, even though tattoos are a mainstream body art, women who get them are often stereotyped as promiscuous, hard drinking.
This woman's about to give some, advice that everybody needs to close their ears, bruh.
And impulsive, because we cannot still seem to let go of this notion that if a woman's body attracts attention, it's an open invitation.
Well, nobody said that, but like we just read in the stats, it did say that. Look, what does it say right there? A famous study showed that men rated women with temporary tattoos as physically less attractive but sexually more promiscuous. Right? So, consequently, men approach tattooed women much faster and more frequently, primarily because they perceive them as much more approachable or available. Like they said in the other one, in the beach, they approach women on beaches. They approach women that got a tat more. So it's not an open invitation. They're just more approachable, because why? This is how the mind works. You can't expect you and your mind to respond in a certain way and not think other people's mind does the exact same thing. Everybody's mind compartmentalizes. You do it. So if you do it, how can you not understand what other people's mind does the exact same thing? Men are compartmentalizing. That's why let me go talk. It's not an open invitation. It's, damn, from my recollection of these situations, she's probably more approachable. She's probably more sexually promiscuous. This is what their mind reverts to.
To see just how IRL this is, I asked lady fans over at Stuff I Never Told You's Facebook page whether their tattoos ever attract unwanted or uncomfortable attention. And you know what? It was even worse than I thought. Brian said, I've had plenty of stupid comments like, how will you get a husband with all of those? Aren't you worried how your tattoos will look when you're older? Kelly said, I got a lower back tattoo at age 16. Immediately, I began getting comments and touches from strangers. Kara said, I had a lady wet paper a towel and try to wipe mine off. Megan says, I always wonder how many tattooed men hear that too familiar cliche of, tattoos are ugly. Why would you ruin yourself?
Yeah, because it's women that are deciding whether it's, if you were to ask women, right, do you find tattoos bad or what, they'll be like, I'm indifferent. As long as the guy does this, that, then I mean, only people that are like that, women like that, are super religious women. They'll be like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. But even them, they will be like, it's not a deal breaker. You see that? Once again, because women are able to compromise on certain stuff. As long as you do other stuff, they're happy, because why? Looks isn't the be all and end all for them. It definitely it plays a massive role, right, as well, but not as massive for men. That's the reason why she's saying, oh, I wonder if men get that. No, why would a man get that when a woman doesn't highly prioritize that as a thing, whereas men highly prioritize looks. So having tats, which is something that is just linked to somebody that's not smart with decision making, or especially when they don't mean anything, even if they mean something, right? It's the visual perception, and men are visual. Don't ever forget that. Now, even when she mentioned, the woman that said, a guy said, would you, about a husband, and he mentioned husband. That's him thinking about you in a certain way. He's probably trying to, signal to you, had you not did that, I probably would have seen you as wife material. Why would he mention a husband thing? A man that doesn't care about you would say nothing. There's a lot of men just look at women, oh yeah, just, I'm gonna say nothing to her, she can destroy her life, whatever. But a man that is thinking about you in that way would use that word in a sentence. He mentioned husband. How do you expect to get a husband like that? He's probably saying himself, like, I probably would have saw you as that. I'm not saying the woman now should be like, oh yeah, and now he's automatically her type. I'm just saying, for a man to say that should give you like clues that this is probably something that I should look into. Because why is he saying that? What are other people saying? I can't keep saying that every guy or people, it's not just men that says this. We kind of read, in the stats, always gonna go back to this, in the stats where it said, how in the stats it said how men and women found that women that have tats are negatively viewed, right? Negatively perceived. So it's not just men that think that way. So, like, you got to think to yourself, like, if men and women are saying stuff, then they can't all be wrong. Because he's saying that something about husband, got other women looking at me a certain way. They can't all be wrong. And if you now say, I don't care. Well, first, you got to stop the cap. You can't sit and tell us you don't care, basically. Because if you didn't care, you would not be running around on the internet saying how you regret it, or how you can't find this, you can't find a husband, someone to take you seriously. Clearly you care because you want somebody to take you seriously. That's you caring about what somebody else basically thinks of you and what somebody wants from you. Or else you'd be like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. You're not gonna hear nothing from me because I don't care what anybody says. I got my tats and I'm happy. You ain't, bro, because you care about what other people think. The other lady just made that very obvious by saying her friend made her had to, my friend then said it was beautiful. That made me, I don't know why it made me kind of realize that, yes, it is beautiful. It's because you can't, you follow. You really care what other people think. You really do. It's a big thing for you. You're social creatures. You care what other people think about you because you know that it's going to affect your environment and how, you can operate within that environment. You want to be able to operate freely, get a guy to take you seriously, have people protect you. All this is going to, it's going to be impacted by how you carry yourself, what you do, how you're perceived. What are you talking about?
Krista said, I've gotten asked, why do you do that to yourself? You're such a pretty girl.
Another one. This guy's, insinuating to her, I think you are gorgeous, and I probably would have 1000% wanted to take you seriously. Again, that doesn't automatically mean that she wants to take him seriously, but it still lets her know somebody is choosing you. People don't just say this randomly to people they don't care about. That's not how life goes. People will say stuff and be like, let me see if I can, sway somebody's mind. If I can sway their opinion, if I can, affect how they think by letting her know I'm interested, whatever. But her doing that, man, because basically he's inadvertently saying, I think you're a pretty girl and I would have taken you seriously and I would have wined and dined you and, be chasing you and, all that stuff had you not got tats. That's what he's telling you. But this woman's reading as, oh, this insulted me. People how can you lack discernment? You don't know how to read between the lines. You don't know how to think, beyond surface level. Golly.
I've been hit on in regard to being tattooed and have been verbally assaulted with homophobic slurs based on my tattoos that are lesbian signifiers. Kayla said, one time a man actually asked if he could lick my tattoo. Jordan said, some guy in the grocery store.
That just again proves from what the stats are. The stats saying men see women that have tattoos as more promiscuous, sexually promiscuous right there. That's why he said this. All of it's connecting. That's why he said he won't lick your tattoos. He's seeing you as you probably more sexually. So she probably would like that. Let me say that probably will turn her on when he doesn't know how creepy he sounds. But that's what you give off, whether you like it or not. Whether you're saying people shouldn't think that way, men shouldn't judge people like that way. Cool. Stop judging broke men when you see them. Just assume that they're not broke.
Once grabbed my arm without so much as saying hello, just so he could see my tattoos. Jenny said, I got my tattoo at 17. It gave old creeps an extra reason to drag their fingers down my arm, asking what it meant. But nah, we don't need feminism. Victoria said, and this is scary, I have a pretty big chest piece and I've had men grab my shirt trying to pull it down to look at the entire piece.
I just want to say, this video was done 10 years ago. Whether this woman has this same, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, who else? You guys in the comments, let us know what you think. But Maybe she had the same views, but this video was done 10 years ago. So we can easily say it's probably, when YouTube says 10 years, it usually means more than that. So we won't be surprised if it's 2015, 2016, maybe even as far back as 2014, this video came out. But it does say 10 years. We don't know if this woman has these same thoughts now. All we're letting you know is that this is what she was saying then, right? Talking about, she just said, that's right, we don't need feminism. Like, do we think that she maybe completely still agrees with feminism now, knowing how it's becoming 10 years later and how things are? Is she herself? We see she got a ring on her finger. We're not blind. Are you still married yourself, right? Because if you still have these thoughts and your guy has been, he also uses YouTube, because you're on YouTube, which means probably people around you probably use YouTube as well. And if your guy's on YouTube and he's seeing this whole, divide of the sexes and whatever, and he's seen how you behave, and he's seen how, like the general consensus about men nowadays, women prefer, to be in the woods with bear than men. Do you think that way? Because all these things I'm saying, I have to ask the question, are you still in a relationship if you're thinking this way? Because the stuff you're saying is like, we can see the ring on your finger. We can see the ring on your finger. We can see it. That says a lot. Like, the guy that you're with, oh gosh, help that guy, bro.
My tattoos are for me. They aren't for men to try and explore. Jessica said, a man once grabbed my arms and asked me if my mother was proud of me. I told him she paid for them. Ferris.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to stop there because there's no more need in this. We just wanted to really, what we wanted to really show people was the, what the stats were saying, because, the stats are really, really, they're really clear, man. They can't be misread, whatever. It's very, very clear, man. Many men report that they find small, discreet tattoo. Remember when I said that cute thing in the beginning? Discreet, acceptable or cute, but extensive ink coverage, face, neck tattoos are often viewed as the turnoff. So discreet, small ones, some men actually even prefer, not even just acceptable. Some people actually prefer them. Telling y'all, some guys prefer them. It just is what it is. It's just, some guys like that little, cute thing. It shows that you have a wild side, but you have, more importantly, you are sensible. You are sensible. So he's like, oh snap, she's got that in her. Have you ever heard the term, he likes a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets? Yeah, that's what that communicates. You see how all this stuff is just connecting, how it connects. That's what a little tattoo in a discreet place, in a place where it's not visible, only he could see it. For example, like, your ankles, unless somebody's looking at your ankles hard, or, your inner wrist, places like that. And a tattoo is there, maybe, but it's got to be a small, like I said, small heart, something like that. He will know that, okay, she's got that wild side, but she's sensible with it. Not like the whole world can't see, just me. That's what that communicates. So a man is happy to be with a woman long term like that, because he's like, I want someone that's kind of got that wild side, someone that I know, is going to be a bit more open when it comes to maybe us, being together, exploring each other, bedroom times, whatever. That's what that communicates. This is why some men will tell you, I actually prefer a woman that does that, as opposed to none whatsoever. So, like, but there's, as you can see, a significant subset of men express a preference for unmarked skin, viewing tattoos as a distraction from a woman's natural appearance. On forums like Reddit, Ask Men Advice, opinions are strongly mixed. Some users actively seek out tattooed partners, while others maintain that they strongly prefer natural. So it's interesting, man. It says some usually seek out tattoo partners. That is a small minority, but we've read all of them. It says the majority of men prefer women that don't have it. So it's just crazy, man. A significant portion of men, including those with their own ink, still prefer partners without tattoos. So even men that have their own ink prefer, I don't want that because we ain't the same, is what he's trying to communicate. A guy that's saying that I got tattoos, but I don't want my girl to have tattoos, is saying we ain't the same. Guys, I'm gonna leave it there. What y'all think, man? This was a long one, but it was something we had to cover because we're looking at the whole dating market and everything, and how people are complaining and this, that, and the third. But some people just ain't making sense with it. You know, if you sensible, you know, in the stuff you're saying, cool. But a lot of people just not sensible. The stuff that they making, you gotta see what people are saying and then match that with the stats to see if it makes sense. We're happy to do another one covering stuff like maybe behavior, you know, like behavioral traits, you know, of maybe how people mention stuff like feminism, liberalism, you know, promiscuity, whatever. If that, how much that is playing a role. Bring up the stats, bring up what people are saying, at the same time piercings, other stuff like that. We're happy to do that, but we want to focus on tats because tats is like very common. It's one of the most common things people are doing. It's very visible, you know. It's a form of expression, definitely, but at the same time, is it wanted on people's bodies? And that's why we have to do this video and focusing on the tats as opposed to digressing all over the place. We were doing a whole lot of over explaining. That's because people start making different arguments. People start mentioning, you know, this stuff isn't fair, as if, you know, both sexes don't benefit from the double standards. You know, women will be like, why can men do it, but why can men do certain things women can't? Because it's just, you know, for example, why can men have tats? Well, because women don't mind them. Like, stats are showing if you do this, can't bother to open up yourself. You will see that open them up yourself, and you see that the stats will show that most women are indifferent about tats on a man. In fact, I think the majority even say, I actually do like a man having tats. Right? Maybe 50% of people. These are just guessing. 50% are saying that I don't mind, I'm indifferent. Most would actually, well, that would probably be less than, maybe 30% will say that. Will say maybe 40-50% will say no, I actually deep down, if I could be honest, and it's what's the word, it's anonymous, I'd rather prefer a man with tats. We believe the majority will say that, and then it will just be a small amount of them, you know, that say I don't want a man with tats at all. You know, that might actually that might be fair as well. That might be, you know, 30% as well, basically. But definitely the general consensus is women are indifferent about tats on men. Like, meaning I don't care if he has one or he doesn't. As long as he's doing other stuff correct, I don't really care, bro. Like, I don't. Whereas men actually do. So when the society, when it comes to dating in society, and that concept is failing, we gotta ask, why is it failing? Why are men saying certain stuff? Why are women saying certain stuff? What is the stats showing? Because everything needs to connect. We can't just be living lives like brainless chicken heads. I can't do that. I'm a bear. I'm, you know, half man, half amazing. But, you know, like, we can't be living our lives like brainless chicken heads. We gotta connect the dots, and then get all that information, create a wisdom pad, and then give it to the, you know, the younger, you know, people, so like we don't completely help them ruin their lives. We can't help them ruin, like, the human race has gotta, it's gotta continue, man. It's gotta, you know, live on. It's gotta, you know, gotta march on. And the only way to do that is by educating young people, to let them know that these are the, do what you want, but these are the stats, right? So if you make the decision you make, we now don't want you to jump online 10, 20 years later saying, I regret this. No, we don't care, because we gave you the wisdom book. We gave you the wisdom pad. You read it and you still made that decision because you thought men were going to change their minds and men were going to change. Men haven't changed in like forever. Bruh, this has been Addicted Weirdos, man. Remember, everybody's addicted to something. That's what makes us weirdos, right? It's been your Bear Grylls. I'm going to catch you on the next one.